Utilitarianism will revolutionize the way you approach decision-making and ethical dilemmas. Guaranteed. Every day, we make countless decisions. But how often do we consider the greatest good for the greatest number? Not often, eh? Too busy with our own lives in it? Well, this is precisely where utilitarianism will revolutionize the way we approach things. So, let's dive right in, shall we? It's a philosophy that can guide our daily choices and perhaps, just perhaps, make us slightly more ethical individuals. Utilitarianism, at its core, is about maximizing happiness. The goal is to choose actions that create the most happiness for the most people. Sounds simple, doesn't it? Well, as with most things in life, it's a bit more complicated than that. Still, a bit of philosophy never hurt anyone except maybe that bloke Descartes. Poor sod. Let's say you're at the supermarket, facing the biscuit aisle. Do you grab the family-sized pack of custard creams, bringing joy to the masses at home? Or do you sneak off with a solitary chocolate digestive, indulging in a fleeting moment of personal bliss? Utilitarianism would have you sharing the love, my friend. Spread the biscuit joy. Or imagine you're waiting for the tube and a gaggle of tourists blocks the doors. Do you A, politely suggest they move aside, or B, unleash a torrent of Shakespearean insults, entertaining the weary commuters? Utilitarianism might encourage a bit of light-hearted heckling, bringing a chuckle to the masses. Just mind the gap and the grumpy station guard. The beauty of utilitarianism is its simplicity. It's a practical framework for decision-making, encouraging us to consider the consequences of our actions. Plus, who doesn't want to spread a bit of happiness? It's like spreading marmalade on toast, a little bit of effort for a lot of sticky goodness. However, utilitarianism has its critics. Some argue that it's impossible to predict the consequences of our actions accurately. Others say it can lead to morally questionable outcomes, justifying the sacrifice of the few for the many. A bit like that time I ate the last Scotch egg, much to the chagrin of my flatmate. Sorry, Nigel. When utilitarianism goes pear-shaped, let's say you're a doctor with limited resources. You have one life-saving dose of medicine and two critically ill patients. One is a brilliant scientist on the verge of curing a deadly disease. The other is your dear old mum. Utilitarianism might suggest saving the scientist, potentially saving millions of lives. But would you really let your mum down like that? I think not. Family first, I always say. This is where utilitarianism can get a bit sticky. It doesn't always account for individual rights, emotions, or the inherent value of human life. Sometimes doing the right thing means going with your gut, even if it means sacrificing a bit of happiness along the way. A right philosophical knees up. Of course, utilitarianism isn't the only philosophical game in town. There's deontology, which focuses on moral duties and rules. Then there's virtue ethics, which emphasizes character and moral excellence. It's like a philosophical buffet out there. Load your plate and see what tickles your fancy. The point is, there are many ways to approach ethical decision-making. Utilitarianism is just one tool in the box, and like any tool, it has its uses and limitations. The trick is knowing when to use it and when to reach for something else. So, you fancy yourself a philosopher, eh? So there you have it. A whirlwind tour of utilitarianism and its impact on our daily lives. Next time you're faced with a moral quandary, remember the principles of the greater good. Will your actions bring joy to the masses? Or will you be the lone wolf, indulging in selfish pleasures? Remember, life is a balancing act. We can't always please everyone, but we can strive to make choices that benefit the majority, even if it means sacrificing a biscuit or two along the way. And if all else fails, just remember to be kind. It's the most utilitarian thing you can do. And we hope you enjoyed this short but informative video for today here at Philosophical Flicks. As always, we do look forward to seeing you in the next video, and until next time, take care of yourself and everyone around you.